So can you give us one story of how a thermography changed a patient's life?
I've got so many, but there's one that comes to mind immediately because it was kind of funny. I had a couple in for full body thermograms. I give a discount if I do 2 people at once, be they a couple, sisters, mother, daughter, whatever, but 2
Right.
people at once from the same family, or friends at once. And I had this couple, and when I was focusing on the man's face, I saw something on his cheek right here, and it looked like a starfish. And so that's suspicious to me. So I asked him if there was anything on his skin, and he said no. He hadn't shaved that day. We asked not to shave, so there's no, inflammation from shaving. So I said, can I look? And I looked, and I saw what looked like a little freckle, okay? But on the screen, on the thermogram, it looked like a starfish. There were fingers on it. And I said, I'd really like for you to go see a dermatologist. And he goes, I don't have a dermatologist. So I said, does your wife have a dermatologist? Well, yeah, my wife has a dermatologist. Okay, go see her dermatologist. Well, it took a year before I found out what happened, but his wife came back for a breast exam. And she goes, remember that thing you saw on my husband's face? And I said, yeah, I do remember that because it really stuck out. And she goes, well, it was really funny. You went to the dermatologist. Told the dermatologist, I have something on my face right here. Well, the dermatologist looked, and he looked with his little magnifying glass. He goes, oh, that's nothing. And the man goes, I'm sorry, but it showed up on my thermogram, so I want you to biopsy it. The dermatologist biopsied it, and it turned out to be a melanoma.
Wow.
And it was luckily very early, so he didn't lose a whole lot of his face, But it was really funny. The dermatologist didn't think anything of it. And he puts down his foot and he says, my thermogram said there's something there. Yeah. And by George, a melanoma. So that could have gone into his neck, into his brain.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a major find. So that one definitely sticks out.
Before we end,
Mm-hmm.
can you tell us a little bit about this picture here with the cell phones and the radiation?
I had been hearing about the cell phone radiation for a long time, and so I decided to do my own experiments. And that's a young man. The top one is before, and the bottom one is after 5 minutes of cell phone use. All the red there is inflammation. Now, there are people that say that cell phones are causing brain cancer. I'm not saying that. I don't know. But we can physically see inflammation caused by cell phone use.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a lot of people tell me, well, I have a cell phone blocker. I got it on the internet. Okay, bring it in. Let's check it out. So I tested a bunch of cell phone blockers. None of them work. It's the antenna that gives off that inflammation. So what I say is hold the phone away. Use speakerphone, use texting, but don't put it up to your head. I've heard of a patient that had a breast cancer that actually looked like, and this was thermographically, looked like a cell phone. She kept her cell phone in her bra.
Yeah.
And there was a square red spot, and it turned out to be breast cancer from the cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I say, I don't know that it causes cancer, but I sure can tell that it causes inflammation. And inflammation is the beginning of all disease. So I do not hold my cell phone to my ear. If you call me and I've got somebody else in the room, you're going to get my voicemail.
Yeah.
I'll call you back and use speakerphone.
Well, thank you for doing this interview.
You're welcome.
Great.
You bet, Jared. Like I say, you're my favorite young man. Hope.